So, a lot is being said all over the internet. Everybody has a lot to say about Miss Richie's passing. We're gonna talk about it. We are gonna talk about it. Okay. Now, you have a part of the media that's basically saying that, well, the majority of the Planketarians are basically saying that 99 did the very best she could, that old lady was well looked after, she was spoilt, she was adored, and I don't think any of us can deny those things based on what we saw. Most of us would agree that this old lady was treated well every time we saw her on camera. You understand? Remember that we're not there all the time, but Miss Richie was such a feisty old lady that I think she would have definitely come forward and said something if she never happy. But you know, there are dynamics to care. Sometimes not everything will be said because you want to make sure that you keep getting cared for. So there's a lot of suspicion. The enemies are walking out. The enemies of 99 are walking out because obviously them always want to look for faults. And they're always trying to find faults and find a reason to tear down 99. We know that this is a fact. Okay? But I'm going to do this as objectively as I possibly can. You guys know that I totally rate how Miss Richie was handled by 99. Anytime I saw that relationship between them, it always brought me joy. And I'm sure it brought a lot of us the same. Right? How she loved her sweets and her treats, and she always seemed to get that. And the banter between the two of them was always quite funny to watch, because it seemed kind of like a, you know, like a mother-daughter kind of relationship. And it was nice to see. So in my heart, in my mind, it looked to me like she was getting everything she needed. She had a designated carer. She had designated carers more or less around the clock. Okay? So as you know, the autopsy results came out, and it was shown on the live. It was done by a Dr. Gerald Smith, who is a medical doctor at the University Hospital, from what I can see here. He's a consultant in forensics and legal medicine. It's a legitimate document. It's properly stamped. It's got his registration number and everything. So, you know, many people are saying, oh, there's no way that it could be the document. It's too quick. It's too fast. Everything's backed up. How is it possible? It's possible. And we don't know if it was expedited and if that was purchased. You don't know that. But it is possible. Okay? Given the profile of the case and who's behind it, it is not impossible to even think that somebody of such great influence could request it to jump the queue. So I don't know why people are surprised about that. At Jamaica. And no matter how much things are backed up for some people can get it faster than others. So let's get that correct. Okay? So on the report, you know, so before, no, seriously, at 13 now, I watch, you know, and 4 likes there. 4 likes there, that not make it. Before I got in it, at least do the respectful thing, because likes not cost no money. Come on, man. 13 of you guys are sitting here. Wanna do little better than that, man. Jano. No, sir. 16 of you know, but do little better, man. Little likes, that or anything. Yeah, share the live. Okay, big up yourself, Leggy. You just reach. All right, Nama, big up yourself. Thank you very much. Thank you. We're going to go into it. All right. So on the reports, it clearly says that the cause of death was cerebrovascular accident. Cerebrovascular accident. Okay? Due to peripheral arterial disease. Now, I'm hearing a lot of people running around the place. Oh, she did a stroke. She did a stroke, a heart disease. And there is a kind of fine line between what people are saying and what's actually on this document. And I think there is a lack of knowledge behind it, behind the accusations. But we are going to go into what actually does this mean. Okay? So, cerebrovascular accident, that would be the stroke related, the actual thing, kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, is why she passed. The reason why she ended up with the stroke is because she had peripheral arterial disease. Now, what is peripheral arterial disease? Now, for anybody who has an understanding of language, peripheral, the periphery means to be on the outside. It's the outside. It's the fringe, okay? When it comes to the periphery of the body, we're talking about the limbs. You hear what I'm saying? So peripheral is about the limbs. It would be your legs, your hands, your fingers, your toes. Okay? Arterial is about the vein that leads from the heart and how they communicate with your limbs. So when you have an arterial disease, it means that the arteries are clogging up and circulation is not as efficient as it should be. So the heart still a pumping. I want to know if you hear what me I said to you, because everybody around up and down, a heart attack and a heart attack. The heart still a pump fine. However, there are clogs in the arteries. Okay? And that clogging up of the arteries is leading to poor circulation that's affecting the limbs, particularly the feet, when it comes to peripheral arterial disease. So peripheral artery disease tends to affect the limbs. It's the narrowing of those vessels that carry the blood from the heart to the legs in particular. The reason why this happens is because fat is building up. Fatty plaque is building up in the arteries. Okay? Now, it happens over a period of time. Now, I want you to listen very closely to what I'm saying, because I'm being very objective here. I ain't no mincing no words. It happens over a period of time. It not happen like overnight. It not happen in a day. It not happen in a month. It happen over a period of time. Okay? Now, there are warning signs for peripheral vascular disease. Some of them are, you may feel muscle fatigue, which means that your muscle feel weak. It feel weary, okay, in the legs. I don't live this. Narina, you're not used to being over here? Because if you're not, I would suggest that you be quiet, okay? As many times I come over here and I don't show my face. All right? That is how it works over here. So if you want to see face, there are many lives with faces. Otherwise, sit back and listen. So once again, peripheral vascular disease has symptoms. And these symptoms are muscle weakness. Thank you, Nama. Muscle fatigue, heaviness in the legs. Okay? So remember, Miss Richie used to always struggle to walk. She always had problems with her legs. There was always weakness in the limbs. Okay? Bye, Nareen. Okay? Thank you. All right? Bye-bye. And that will be your last. Blocked. Okay? So at the end of the day, if we know what we know of Miss Richie, over a period of time, she ended up with this weakness in the legs. Okay? She was not as physically active, as physically mobile as she was from the beginning of the program. Sometimes no symptoms at all. Yeah, sometimes no symptoms at all. But unfortunately, in this case, there were symptoms, weren't they? There were symptoms. You can also have things like feeling pain when you're exercising. You can also have things like numbness. You can have pins and needles, right? A lot of different things, but it essentially, your leg them now work right. All right? Your leg them not working right. And I don't believe anyone can say that we didn't see some kind of signs of this peripheral vascular disease over the period of time that we interacted with Miss Richie online. That we saw her. Now, whether or not this was picked up, I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows. Okay? Now, whether or not this was picked up, I have no idea. No idea at all. I don't know if this was known to the carers or if this was known to 99. I do not recall any discussion about it. Maybe I missed a live. Say I'm not on every live. If anybody has been on a live that indicated that this was the case, please say it in the comments. Please say it in the comments. Tell me if anybody heard of Miss Richie having this disease before. I would really like to hear it. If you have never heard it, please also say it in the comments. No, me never hear nothing. Tell me if I missed it, because I don't think I missed it, but tell me if I missed it. Right. Now, this is what me I gotta say. There are certain things that will make it worse over time. And I know the question is going to come up as to whether or not this kind of disease is reversible. It is reversible. No, never heard it before. Okay. It is reversible. And it includes treatments such as widening the artery. There's medications that you can take to reduce the buildup of fatty deposits that's within the blood vessels. Of course, there's things like lifestyle changes. She was already of a wonderful weight. Her weight, she never had to do weight loss. If you were overweight, they would have recommended lose weight. And of course, there's also regular exercise. Now, most times when we saw Miss Richie, she was lying in bed. I don't know if that she did her daily walks. I'm certain that that would have happened. Okay. We've seen her out and about with Miss Donna on occasions, special occasions, but it's important that there is exercise. Most likely a clot rather than fat embolus. Oh yes, it could be a clot. Yes, it could be. That's right. That's right. So what does it matter? No, it's not going to bring her back. Paulette, it does matter because it's going all over the place, and it's something that we should discuss. And whether or not it is a case of, do we think somebody should be blamed? That's the part that don't matter. But what matters is, for those of us who invested in Miss Richie's care, because I don't know if you did, but I certainly did, I would want to know if there is something that could have prolonged her life. Okay. Now, peripheral vascular disease, and I'm also not one of those people that believe in being silent about discussing topics. I don't do that. I'm not to be censored under any shape or form, not on this platform or anywhere, and certainly not on my own platform. I'll discuss anything I wish. And what I will say is that peripheral vascular disease is something that can be treated with the right care, with the right medication, and it can reduce the symptoms. However, would it have stopped death? Not necessarily. Would it have prolonged her life if she received intermittent care around the disease? Yes, it would. And that's point blank, period. Fact. It would. Had it been picked up, had it been appropriately treated, had the regular intervals in terms of checkups taken place by whomever had care of Miss Richie, it would have helped. But do you think it's a bit early to discuss? This is certainly insensitive. Oh, well, it's being discussed everywhere else, my lovely. So no, it's not too early for me to discuss, because other people are basically pointing a finger at 99 and saying that she's the cause of death. Her neglect is the cause of death. But I am trying to look at it objectively, that it could have helped. However, it would not have necessarily stopped anything. It may just have prolonged her life, okay? And that's a fact. Now, remember, 99 took on the care of somebody who was not her mother, not her blood relative. She did this out of the goodness of her heart, okay? Nobody else, apart from donors who would contribute to birthday parties or any treats or whatever that did little things, we were not a part of her day-to-day care. We were not a part of her day-to-day care, okay? And even if the other people are doing it, does not make it better. I never said it was any better. I never tell you I'm better than anybody else. Right? So, at the end of the day, if you look at it, that had Miss Richie not had any intervention at all from 99, do you think she would have had even the iota of healthcare that she has had now since her passing? I'm just saying, because many times 99 took her to the doctor. We're going to take 99 out of the picture and pretend as though 99 never met Miss Richie at all. So I'm getting down to it. Let us look at, and bear with me, for those of you who are saying this is not any better than anything else, an important part of being in Headteacha's class is staying to the end of the lecture and not jumping to conclusions, okay? Because it's very easy to judge without listening. Listen. Take 99 out of the picture altogether. No, pretend she does not exist. And now return to this lady. Return to this lady. Return to Miss Richie. All right, here now, no. Yes. Okay. CC Growl, please pay attention. I already discussed that. I'm not reversing it. All right. I don't have the time. So I mentioned that and I discussed all of that from the start. So she would have died. Once Lebo had passed, would this woman had any inspiration? Would this woman had anything to look forward to? Would this woman have had any kind of, what would you call, stable support network necessarily? I'm not saying she would not have had some care, you know. Would they have had the appropriate guidance? Would they have had the financial backative to be able to buy her certain things for her health and for her comfort as fluently as she has had it over this period of time? Me think that is the point that everybody is missing. Them a jump up about, oh, it's neglect. Oh, if she did have her check up them, ray. But I am saying take 99 out of the picture entirely. What would you have ended up with Miss Richie? You would have ended up with a dead lady from in her 80s. She would have died. Because you know how they pine when their partners die. You know how they pine and they suffer. Plus she has had children that has passed. Hello? The depression alone would have drained her. But nobody now look on that part. Everybody's just paying attention to the fact that, oh, had she had the checkups on bang on time, had she had the treatment, then she would have lived. Lived until how long? Fair enough, it may have added a year, 2 years, 3 years. She was 93 years old. I am not saying that no, any 93-year-old should be denied access to regular checkups. I'm not saying that. They should have it. And yes, it could have been done better. Yes, I agree with that it could have been more timely. It could have been bang on time. Because peripheral vascular disease is treatable. And that treatment could have prolonged her life. It could have, but not for that much longer, because old age in itself will bring so many other complications. But everybody is busy crucifying this woman because, okay, they may have given in to her going, me no want get up. You know, that pain in her leg, right? Could have made her feel like, you know, something, me no want get up. Me no want go nowhere. And not having the knowledge, because remember, I have said to you, I don't know if she had the knowledge or not. I don't know if the carers had the knowledge that the disease was there. I don't know what was told to them about why it is that her legs are not working. And I don't know if anybody else is privy to that information, but I am not privy to it. So without that knowledge, I don't know if they were aware that it could be a treatable thing. I don't know. And that's where I will draw a line with that. But instead of focusing on, oh, every 6 months, every 5 days, every blah, 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 nonsense and rubbish, where we know, say, in Jamaica, everything now work pan clockwork like that. People are not necessarily as apt with certain things, okay? And if the woman has a busy lifestyle and it's difficult for her to coordinate things, how easy is it for her carers to mobilize and get her from point A to point B without some kind of, you know, strong-handed intervention when she's being stubborn and don't want to do something? I don't know. But what they should look at, which to me is the penultimate, is what would she have had if this woman was absent? What would she have had and how many years would she have been? Would she have even made it to 93? Right? Would she have even made it to 93? So instead of being busy crucifying this lady for what would have been an inevitable end, be it 93, 95, or 98, or 100, right? Look at the good that was given to somebody who was not even bloodline to 99, is what I am saying. Could it have been done better? Perhaps it could have been. It probably could have been. By her family is who I would look at. Whatever family exists is what I would look at. Perhaps. But at the end of the day, nothing can reverse the fact that a lot was actually done that nobody else, including those naysayers, are actually willing to do. Who is going down there and bringing food to the lady? Who is going down there and sorting out her clothes? Who is going down there making sure the place is clean? None of these people that are busy running their mouths. None of them. Not one single somebody. Many of them did not even donate to Miss Richie. Not even once. But they have got a million things to say, focusing on a fine line between a year, 2 years, and 93. It says it was an accident. Right? A cardiovascular accident. That's a sudden stroke. Nothing predetermined, nothing that was done to lead up to it. They're going to come with whether or not diet could have been better. They're going to come with a million things. My question is, because there were times when she was taken to the doctor, and you know, we've heard her them saying that, oh, she does not have diabetes, she does not have high blood pressure, her cholesterol is fine, all of that. But funnily enough, one of the major things with peripheral artery disease is that your cholesterol is a bit out of whack. So I don't know how it is that those regular checkups, those checkups, sorry, intermittent checkups, did not pick up that something was a bit off. So that part is a little bit concerning, and that's not necessarily to do anything with 99, but more to do with the astuteness of the doctor that dealt with the checkup, or the nurses that dealt with the checkup, right? So I'm going to say this. I am not looking at it like, oh, let's blame. Let's say this person is the reason. That's a nonsense. That's rubbish. I'm looking at it like, take her out of the picture, and what the hell would you have had left? What the hell would you have had left? Regardless of what could have been done better, best, perfect, you would have ended up with the worst. And she could have washed her hands, like some are suggesting, that she never had to take this on. She never had to. But she could have washed her hands, and she could have walked away. And what would have been the result would have been something far more traumatic. Going on like say, everything down there was a bed of roses before 99 came in the picture. The bed of roses that you see 99 created. And this is all I'm going to say about that. I hope there is some clarity and understanding, and that people now recognize that it's about time people recognize that, listen, not everything can necessarily be prevented, but some things can be made easier, and some things can be made more pleasant. Old age, illness, grief was made a lot less burdensome by that one lady on our team and the donors them, because it could have been so much worse. And I am so sick of people constantly looking for reasons just to tear down a person when they themselves won't get off their backsides and do anything better. This is determined by leg ultrasound, etc. Normal checkup won't show that. Doctors would dismiss the leg pain for old age. Okay. No, I was saying about the cholesterol being out of whack. I don't know if they picked up on that, but yeah, you're probably right. Okay, you're probably right. So, you know, as I said, yes, exactly. Yes, I even remember when my great grandmother was suddenly, you know, she went from a walking person to being in a wheelchair and stuff. And they just put it down to old age. Them never bother dig nothing and investigate nothing. And she died at what, 95? Right? And if they probably dug it up, then probably would have said this too. Right? But she did eat her ice cream and eat her cake and enjoy herself right up until her passing moment. And if you had denied her that, she would have been one miserable woman till the day she died. You understand me? Do you think that 93, 94 and bedridden is exactly the kind of life that Miss Richie probably would want to extend for years and years to come? I don't know. It was her time. It is sad that she's passed, and certainly lots of us would have loved to see Miss Richie face for another few years. But don't go pinning this on one person when you yourself have done nothing. And also, just remind yourself about what it would have been like had she not been there at all. Anyway, big up yourself, people. I'll see you guys later.